On this episode of DC On Screen, I am hanging out with Jason in his nefarious villain lair.
Uh-huh.
And we're just going to have
a dungeon of sorts.
We're just going to have a fun little impromptu DC On Screen episode. And I don't think we've ever done it this way before, precisely.
Dave's winging it.
I'm winging it a little bit. I've got some screenshots that I took in the last 10 minutes, and we're just going to go through a couple of stories and talk about what Jason thought of Aquaman.
Hell yeah.
In the Lost Kingdom. And I hope you join us. Mm-hmm. We'll be right back.
So for the half of you that are still there after you learned that we're winging it.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome into DC On Screen. Indeed, the podcast that's been bringing you news and reviews of the DC properties on film and television since 2015. God, we've been doing this a long time.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have like our 10-year anniversary around the time we get the reboot.
Uh-huh.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have Batman 2 and Superman Legacy.
It'll be fully refreshing.
Yeah. I'm David C. Robertson, as you guys know, most of you. This is my cohort here, Jason Goss.
Hi.
Yeah.
It's close enough to shake his hand.
I know.
That's audio.
It's warm and
hands.
Slightly wet.
Yeah.
It's
called clammy.
Yeah.
Show nerves, as they call them.
Yeah. I didn't look up numbers, but I'm reading that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is it's got some legs. It's doing all right. It's doing better than anybody really reasonably thought it would. Or at least anyone in the fandom that I see.
Definitely more than I thought.
Yeah, you finally saw it though.
Yeah.
You saw it this morning, right?
No. Yesterday, I'm about 22 hours out of having seen it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was I correct in my belief that you would want your own topo?
I do, very much. I mean, not stuffed animal version. Like, who the fuck can use a topo?
Right.
It's a little recon cephalopod that can turn invisible.
Look,
has a little bit of fight in him, but also knows when to retreat.
Can he turn invisible, or was he just like invisible when he touched Aquaman when he was invisible?
No, just all cephalopods can kind of do that environment blending thing. They camouflage very well.
Mm-hmm. Like, okay.
He can't do the actual true invisible thing.
Yeah, that's not like a real cloaking device or anything. Yeah.
You just don't know where the fuck they are until they snatch your ass.
Snatch your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you also think it was dumb that he was genetically engineered?
No, not really.
Really?
I don't know. It made as little or as much sense as it could have or should have. It was irrelevant to me.
It just, it felt weird because, that's Aquaman's whole thing is that he talks to the fish and sea creatures and says, hey man, go do this. And then they go do it. But then they were like, oh, well, he's genetically engineered. So he understands. Like,
yeah, but I figured that was so everyone else could
do that.
Because everyone else knew Topo was like a badass before. I thought it was just so they could talk to him.
Okay. Well,
and then Aquaman was like, oh yeah, I already know this motherfucker. I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Like, well, I guess I can't remember. Like, as I've never been a huge Aquaman guy anyway, but like, can like all
I might
the
have
Atlanteans
missed that.
do that? Where they talk to the fish, or is it just him?
No. I think it's just him.
Why is it? I mean, his kid can do it.
Yeah. I think it's just the Currys though.
Okay.
In some capacity, in my memory of Aquaman at least.
Yeah, I mean, there
aren't like a lot. It's just kind of a royal thing.
Well, I don't have like a lot of memories of Aquaman.
It's not deep lore for me. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But from what I know, that tracks though. I mean, I could see it being different for them. Like even, it's kind of like with Mira. Like not all, very few of them can do the actual like magician thing.
Right.
Like, there's even a magician clan inside the Aquaman universe. And, like I know that part at least.
More of that, yeah.
But yeah, it's like the not all humans can sing kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, most of what I know about Aquaman, comes from Wizard Magazine and reading Grant Morrison's JLA.
Yeah.
And, I
know a lot about Aquaman from people defeating him.
Uh-huh.
And I don't mean that as a slight. I just mean that he ends up in stories.
Yeah.
That are bigger stories where everyone's getting their ass kicked.
Like, Mark Waid's JLA Year One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Tower of Babel or something.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I come to think of it, a lot of my Aquaman knowledge comes from Mark Waid.
Yeah.
And Grant Morrison.
And a fair amount of my Aquaman universe actually comes from Young Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because
Yeah.
Yeah, that
The
Aqualad in there is a
waterbenders.
fucking
Yeah.
badass. And then, they have a whole little tiny Aqua universe in there.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
God, I want to finish that show. I think they did finish it proper. I just haven't finished the couple episodes I have left.
I don't know that they finished it, but because there's a lot of people going like, "Oh, is it coming back?" And Wiseman's like, "I don't know."
Yeah, okay.
So
we're sitting right in there.
Yeah, knowing them, they left several threads, and I am not going to remember what those threads are if it ever does come back.
It's going to be like Futurama for me. When I do see it, I'll remember everything instantly and love it.
Yeah.
And then I'll remove myself and forget again.
Well, Young Justice, though, they do this thing where they like do time jumps.
They do.
So, and they don't like
It'll be
really
like,
explain what
even
just
in
happened.
like season 1.
Yeah.
Like season 2 was like 3 years later. He big now? Okay.
Well, that can be good, but it's also like I will sit down and we'll sort of watch it and go like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where did all these clones come from? Okay, why are there several? Okay. There are like 18 Guardians, and they're okay. Whatever, man. And I just don't always remember. I have trouble.
I don't either. There are shows where I deeply, deeply understand and appreciate the recap before.
Yeah, it's part of my MCU problem, actually.
A little bit. Right now, when I watch Reacher, which is fun, but it's just fun to watch giant ass Alan Rickson like beat some people up. Richson.
Yeah.
How do I actually say his name? I know it's spelled, I think.
Alan Richson.
It's like rich, and there's a T for some reason, and then there's the word son.
Right.
And like, I don't know.
By the way, I meant to bring this up last episode. Mm-hmm. He says he wants to play Batman.
Oh, I saw that, and I'm into it.
I am too.
Yeah. Dye his hair. We talked about this earlier.
We can dye his hair, yeah.
Coincidentally. I do want him black haired, but like,
yeah.
Because he's a giant blonde thing. But like, I would like to dye him. But other than that, I think he absolutely has the structure for it.
I don't know. You know what? Don't dye him, and he can play Batman from Earth Zero.
That's cool too.
And just have him be like, he is the Batman Bob Kane created before Bill Finger came in and fixed it.
Or I'll just let him show up and do like an Owlman thing or something.
I mean, you're not going to tell me like Ian Glenn had black hair, though. I mean,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, if I have survived somewhat all of these years with nothing but brunette Barry Allens, I can deal with a blonde Bruce Wayne. I'm okay.
I could do it too. It would be fun if
not
that's
my
something
preference.
he like flashes through when he's Bruce.
Yeah.
And then he like washes it out in 2 seconds when he's Batman again.
Yeah. The only reason Batman ever has black hair in the comics is really just because he puts on way too much of that grease paint when he's putting on his mask.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, just real quick.
just-
Just the grease paint gets more aggressive.
Right.
Yeah. I think if you were him and had to actually put on that outfit, it would probably be advantageous if you were actually bald. I mean, frankly. Yeah. But he's got hair to deal with.
Well, he's still got to keep up the appearance of being the handsome playboy.
Yeah. Well, but actually, that's a good point. He's always up to date. And handsome playboy at this point involves like a man bun. So that's got to be a problem.
Oh, God.
That could be an issue. It's not going to fit under.
There's a version of Batman I want to write that everyone would hate.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't go too deeply into it, but it really is just like Instagram influencer Batman and Robin being total dick bags.
Total Paul Logan.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yes, that is exactly how I pitched it to my wife the other day.
Did I even have his name right?
Paul and Jake Logan.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is just that. Like, it is...
As soon as they turn the camera off, they go fight crime and hang out with Justice League. But
No.
No. Oh, it's worse.
No, it's worse. It's like while they are fighting crime, they're like on Instagram being like, "What's up, bitches? Just caught the Riddler." You know, just like, of course, in this version, Bruce's parents never died. He's just a dick. Like, he was always destined for this life. But
just now his costume sucks because it's on his trust fund allowance.
Yeah.
Because he didn't actually earn any real money.
Yeah. It's just TikTok pranker Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Who accidentally gets into some real shit.
And absolutely has shitty curled hair. Of course he does.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom that you wanted to get off your heart?
I don't think I've gotten much off my heart in general. But
yeah.
Overall notes were, yes, you were right. I did love Topo. And I did like the movie. I really actually enjoyed it. I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
I think I just really enjoyed how much I liked the like Orm Aquaman relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like those two actors in that role, and I think they have a great time on screen.
Yeah.
It was a really good like buddy comedy to me in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Movie didn't really do anything wrong. It as a movie, it was perfectly functional.
Yeah.
It just
was
cracked me up
shocking.
that it's like, I mean, yeah, I get that.
With all the reshoots and everything, it was shocking that it hung together as well as it did.
It did hang together. There was more Amber Heard than I thought there was going to be, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I get it. I don't think it would have hung together without a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would we be talking about if it was like, you're about to kill this kid and where's her mom?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Amber Heard absolutely had to be there, but I could see that they kind of just wanted to keep it, pretty straightforward and maybe minimize the time. I'm not sure. I mean, they clearly minimized any like involvement in any kind of future thing. Or
Yeah. No Batman.
any cameos of any kind. Oh, and yeah, I get it. Like, if you're going to end the road there, that's cool. It's funny that it's called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because but yeah, I really did enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you were telling me earlier you didn't like the Black Manta agency issue, and
Yeah, like the king possessing him. It was just like, dude, you already had all that revenge in your heart. Like, and then they just kind of like took that from him. Like, well, now he's possessed. And I'm like, is he possessed? Is he still like in charge? Like,
and I do hate a possession story.
yeah.
I mean, I hate a bitch as far as that goes, but I guess I didn't mind with him too much because I don't know. If
He
your
wouldn't have
entire
had the power otherwise to pose a threat.
he would have been a problem either way. And like,
Yeah.
he says several times in it that he's stronger than he used to be, but like he also got a suit restored.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, it was funny because like he gets all that power, his suit back, the trident, all that goes away at the same time, and then he gets just bitch slapped out of the fucking movie. And I loved it. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
His entire backstory though was basically, you killed my dad, so I'm going to kill you. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that. It's not like they killed this giant steaming, catalyst that they could have just made so much out of. Like they didn't ruin the meal. It was a fucking basic little
Yeah.
chicken nugget of a meal anyway.
Yeah. My biggest issue with the whole movie was that I was just kind of bored most of the time and kind of just waiting for it to be over. But I mean, like a lot of the effects looked cool.
I was pretty in it for what it was.
Yeah,
For sure. I mean, I was there for 2 hours.
yeah. I mean, some of the effects look really cool as far as like the robots walking around that they were driving. That shit looked like almost stop motion.
That was neat.
I liked that. I thought that was cool. Some of it looked really cool, and then some of it looked, like garbage. But I mean,
I thought the movie was very pretty though, as far as that goes.
It was pretty. It just like, don't look at it too long or analyze it because you're like, that. And there are definite shots where it's just like, whoa, they're on a green screen. Whoa, that green screen. There are a couple of those.
Yeah, they're going to be jarring that way.
Yeah.
And at some point, I forget what scene it was, I thought he tried to kind of recreate the one-shot feel of the top of the Italy little scene.
Yeah.
I forget what that scene was. I do remember thinking this, though. Whatever it was I was thinking about was like, man, I know what you're going for. I think he just reframed it so much that it wasn't as obvious, but I still was very into the scene. I still thought it was very pretty.
Yeah.
You could tell where James Wan like put his heart into something and really like pulled it off, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I probably just didn't notice him as much because weirdly, this was one of those movies where like I kept flinching as though there was a remote by me where I could rewind and just watch something again. And I'm not sure if that was ADD or just me wanting to watch something again real quick to see if I caught something or could catch something else or whatever.
I feel like it's the same thing when like, if I'm reading something in like a book, sometimes like I'll try to like pinch out to like zoom in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. This is analog.
It's a magazine. Fuck.
Like, damn it, I can't zoom in on that titty.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was just trying to read the article anyway. I mean, shit.
Yeah. No, that's...
I think that was most of what I had with Aquaman. It's good to see it having done as well as it has.
Yeah.
I don't mind that this is the end though. As far as the proper bits that we were talking about for X amount of years now, me and you and all that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that being where it is. And don't take that as I wouldn't like more of what were promised a few years ago, but
Right.
it is what it is now.
Like, if in a couple of years, Zack Snyder is, finishing up his whatever bullshit that, Snyder fans are loving right now. I haven't watched it. I'm going to watch Rebel Moon when the director's cut is out. Damn it. But
I'm probably going to watch it as soon as I get around to it in general right now, but I haven't had time.
But if for some reason, he pops back in, I had a conversation with you about this where I was like, I am happy to take that shovel and pack the dirt on the DCEU grave. But if Snyder the Friendly Ghost pops back up with an Elseworld story, I will happily, consume that.
At this point, I think best interpretation of possible events for you for that would be just Gunn starts his thing. He wants to cross over a few characters anyway.
Yeah.
Aquaman, Flash, Blue Beetle, among them, Peacemaker, and some of the parts tied to that.
We don't know about Aquaman.
Well, we don't, but he crossed it over into the Flash end credits, so that indicates something, but that's all we know right now.
Well, that was just leading into Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, though.
Well, true.
That was just being like, hey, he's still in a universe with Jason Momoa, so please go watch Aquaman and Lost Kingdom.
Yeah, that could sidebar it even more.
Yeah, I think that was maybe just a suggestion on his part. I don't think he was actively thinking about oh yeah, we're gonna tie this in.
I mean, it's an interpretation, but
I'm just
I don't know if it happens.
I do not believe we'll ever see Jason Momoa as Aquaman again.
I don't think so either. But certain characters that I know he was going to consider canon at least, and even that changed because I know when Flash came out, Bruce was still supposed to be in this movie at that time. Mm-hmm. And
different versions of him at different times.
But it just wasn't the same. But anyway, I don't know, whatever might cross over happens. But point being, I think we're going to be happier to just start over in general at this point. And regroup a little ourselves as far as...
Yeah, I dig the shit out of what Zack Snyder was trying to do. And as much as I'm if this is the hand we're dealt, I don't terribly mind what we've gotten since his departure. But at the same time, at this juncture, I am yes, just please, let's move on with it. I don't want any more freaking Ghost of the Snyderverse, Hamadaverse bullshit.
If they let Flash play out long enough, though, to at least keep the moving parts and Gunn starts his own thing and that all starts to work. If at some point there's a callback to some sort of crisis era kind of moment where you can restart and get yourself a couple of movies that are the Snyder, another little Snyder cul-de-sac that we didn't see before, I think we're all going to be on board with that.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Frankly, I'll have a hard on when I hear about that one.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only context we'll see, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
because the universe has to establish itself now.
Yeah, out of the Hamadaverse stuff, and that's what I'm going to refer to it as, I guess. But I mean, what, Birds of Prey and the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, those are the ones I'd keep. Black Adam was passable, and Shazam 2 was pretty good, but not
I liked all of these, and I wouldn't have a problem with crossing over any of them. But yeah, I completely get just call it a day and move on. The
general quality was just kind of what are we doing here? What's the plan? Why are we doing this? Well, this is so by the numbers.
And that's the thing that Snyder's pointed out recently in some interview where he kind of said he doesn't want to go back to comic movies because no matter what, you can't do anything by itself anymore. Mm-hmm. You can't just make a Superman movie. Mm-hmm. He wanted to make back in the day where he thought maybe blah, 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 but that was 2013. 2011 when he was, or 2010 when he was talking about it.
Yeah.
Those are different days. You can't just make any product and it not have to cross over with blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
I mean, 2013, that was still if that is something Snyder believed, he was ignorant.
No, even then he knew because he'd already got in trouble for Watchmen.
Yeah. Even back in, once Avengers happened.
Well, when he was talking about that comment, that was a few months ago, as far as now the landscape.
Right. But 2008, when Iron Man came out and they mentioned the Avengers Initiative, that's it.
It was over.
It's over. That's no more Nolan bullshit.
It was completely over.
After that, before that, people were...
before that, there was an era of all right, 3 movies in, maybe they mentioned this other major character.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting for 7 years now.
Yeah, dude, when Brandon Routh was cast as Superman for Superman Returns, people on the internet were like doing photoshops of Bale and Routh together, like, oh, the new universe is starting. And blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
they were in fanzines.
And then like Nolan's coming out and being like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, gee Christ. You auteur piece of shit.
It is funny though, because that would have done fine. It would have done fine.
It would have.
Brandon Routh was a fine Superman.
Yeah. And then like Nolan's attached to Man of Steel and people are like, oh, okay, so this is going to be the tie-in with Bale. Oh, I don't want to do it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. So it's like, there's always been like a desperate need.
I know.
And then once Marvel did, it was just like, oh, no turning back now.
Once they crossed.
Yeah. There's no turning back.
Yeah.
Let Nolan finish this shit and let's move on toward the shared universe.
I don't know how to undo that either. That bell may not be able to be unrung. Like, it may always just be the case that when we see IPs that have universes this big now, we just expect they're going to expand.
Well, we hope in some ways. Like,
well, I mean, actually, it's true now. Like, look what Gunn's doing. He didn't just say we're going to build a Superman universe.
But I think, like, one of the things I like that Gunn is doing...
starting with Creature Commandos, for fuck's sake.
I know. But one of the things I like what Gunn is doing is he, like, goes to Matt Reeves and he's like, hey, do you want to be part of the universe? And he's like, nope. And he's like, cool.
Love you, bro.
You do your trilogy and we're going to,
let me know if you need anything.
We're going to fuck off over here and do our thing.
Yeah.
And that's nice, too, because I'm like, yeah, like, if he wants to, if Matt Reeves has a story he wants to tell, cool. The first one made $1 billion.
It did fine.
God bless. Have your cake. Eat it too.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be all right.
And he's like, well, I kind of want to hang out and do your thing too. Cool. You can be involved in that.
It is funny though, because like we're in terms of universes we're sharing, it's not going to do $1 billion next time. No, it won't. And it's not because of the Gunn universe and the trajectory and blah, blah, blah. It's because movies don't do that anymore. Well, they do with your Oppenheimer or Barbie. Yeah, but like those are super rare right now. They're super rare right now. Like that movie's going to make rare. Well, $1 billion has always been rare, but it became an expectation at some point. It became an expectation with the fans because they were like, once Avengers did $1 billion, and then Iron Man 3 made $1 billion. I mean, but then that always confused me too. Because why did the bar become 2? Because Infinity War and Endgame made the gross domestic product of several countries in a weekend. Yeah, and like that. Why wasn't 2 the standard anymore? I think it was like some weird mark where like X amount of million just moved. The goalpost moves. Yeah. And you just keep having to get higher. But those got so high so fast that no one even bothered that. Right. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you recall, Avengers made $1 billion, Iron Man 3 made $1 billion. Yeah. And then like Ant-Man came out and didn't. And it made like, 300 or something. 300 million. I think it made, like 300 or 400 million. And everyone was like, oh, it's the first misstep of the MCU. And like, no, it's a great movie that did fine numbers. It broke the universe a little bit in terms of its, mechanics, but it was a fun movie. It was fine. And yeah. But then you have the outliers where like Joker comes in and makes $1 billion. Well, that was just too weird. Mainstream had to check that out. I know. Even GA was, what the fuck is happening right now? I mean, it looked cool and it was a good movie. Phillips did a great job of having that be one of those movies where you can go back and interpret it a lot of ways. Yeah. Like even the way the film is literally filmed, the angles even, or something that like film school people look at apparently. The most exciting thing about the sequel to me is that it's going to be a musical. I don't know what we're stepping into. I don't know. Like he is actually doing something, seems like he's doing something different with this one. He's playing with the format he created and I like it. And I was immediately hooked when he said folie à deux because that fucking term's amazing and perfect for those two. It's like... I don't know. It just seems pretentious enough. Like, because Joker... That's a good way to put it. Pretentious enough. Yeah. Joker in of itself was like the most pretentious take on a comic book thing. It was like... It really was. I mean, I've said it before. It really was like, I have an idea for an independent movie. I happen to be using this IP. Yeah. Like this would be fun for Joker. We'll actually get some eyes on it. Yeah. Cool. We don't believe in it at all. It's like if you grab Donnie Darko and put a recognizable face on that shit.
Yeah. And that, you know, we talked about that before, is like the studio believed in it so little that they let other companies come in and co-finance it, and then like missed out on the $1 billion it
Wasn't
made.
that one of those Hamada fuck ups? I
Oh,
think it was like
yes.
one of his
Oh,
first
yeah.
huge fuck ups, right?
Yeah, man. Toby Emmerich and Hamada.
I think that was like the first one he got in, and
Yeah, that was just like I mean, Scorsese, okay. We don't believe in it.
that was such weird news. That was such weird news to even hear Scorsese was attached.
Yeah.
And then at some point in the news, we're like, "What do you mean Mark Maron's in it? Like, what do you mean when you say those words to me? What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's so funny. And that is exactly the comic book movie Mark Maron would be a part of.
It is exactly that, yes.
I mean, forgetting the fact that he played Lex Luthor in Super Pets, for Christ's sake.
Which was fun.
It was. He did a really good job.
He did a great job.
Super Pets is one of those I'll always kind of be sad that we didn't get more of.
That was an animated weird movie. I hope so. I hope we get more.
No, we won't.
I know. But they could, cheaply.
Yeah. Kind of.
Relatively cheaply.
That's one of those, it's like, if they ever did more, they'd have to recast Crypto, because I don't think Dwayne is coming back.
If anything, you'd come back for that.
Maybe. But I think it would be direct to home video.
Maybe. It's just going to be a streaming thing. Kind of thing.
Yeah. They'd probably recast Kate McKinnon, because I can't see her coming back necessarily. Anyway, we got a little bit of news. We can talk about Nicolas Cage shoots down hopes of his Superman ever returning after the Flash cameo. He says, "I don't think that's coming back in any way. And listen, I wasn't angry about the situation. I really wasn't. I was just confused. I was mystified by what happened in the first place. Because Tim Burton, one of the greatest directors in the world, had wanted to make the movie, and already had kind of defined the way to make the best comic book based storyline with the Batman franchise with Michael Keaton." Disagree with him there. "So I couldn't understand why that studio, who had such success with that fantastic, brilliant director, would pull the plug." He's talking about the original.
Mm-hmm.
And then as for his Flash cameo, it says, "I wasn't upset. I was just perplexed. I was just like, it wasn't what I shot. And I was worried about it. Like, did you just tell me that I was witnessing the destruction of the universe so you could take pictures of me and then animate me? Whether it was through CGI or AI, that wasn't the conversation we had. So I was confused."
Yes, that is what happened.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Nick.
I am. I was happy to see him there with all the context that lies below it.
Yeah.
But yes, that is a cheap way to make that moment happen.
It is. And you know what? Like, someone asked me the other day, and I apologize, I don't remember their name. We were in an Ollie's, and we were talking about comic books.
Mm-hmm. As it happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was in the graphic novel section. And the guy was like, "Well, let me ask you this," because at this point he knows I've got a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Well, let me ask you this. If Tim Burton came back and did a Nicolas Cage Superman movie, would you watch it?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'd watch anything. That's not the real question. The real question is, do I want it?" And I say no. And he was like, "Why not?" I said, "Look, I would happily take it if we could get like a parallel universe version of the Nic Cage movie, and it would be like what Tim Burton would have made back in 1993.
Yeah.
Tim Burton now sucks balls. I have not enjoyed a single Tim Burton product
in years. Yes.
Yeah.
I get that.
Since Planet of the Apes, probably. Like, I didn't like that one.
I don't remember the last one I really watched, but genuinely it would probably be in like the Frankenweenie area.
Like the first one, like the short film?
I didn't know there was a second.
Well, there was a short film, and then there was like a later film that was actually financed, I think, by Disney. Or I think both of them were, actually.
Well, then I maybe even get that wrong.
Yeah.
That's like the last product I remember that I was... I know he's done a lot of movies. I don't go out for them.
Right. I mean, I love Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Those are all beautiful.
And the first Batman movie. Batman Returns, not so much.
Returns has some problems. We've talked about
has some problems. Famously. I great for nostalgia, but at the same time, I'm like, this doesn't hang together for me. Once we get to like Planet of the Apes, I'm like, I don't like that. I did like Sweeney Todd, all right though.
I did like Sweeney Todd. That's a good point.
Sleepy Hollow. I like Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow was good.
That's a good one.
Was that a Danny Elfman soundtrack too?
Probably.
That was a good score.
Probably.
But that was high school, I believe, for me.
Yeah, that was like high school or college.
We're like 20 years out now.
Yeah.
We're talking about the last thing that we watched.
It's been a long damn time since Tim Burton made something I liked. I'm just sitting there going like, what happened to you, dude? You are doing some weird, funky ass shit.
I think he's still making numbers, man. It's just not in any way a thing that I'm into anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm very curious to see Beetlejuice 2.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I hear Amelia, what's her name? Not Amelia Clark. What is her
Earhart?
name? No, Earhart. What is that girl's name who did Wednesday? Which he did.
Pugh, maybe?
No,
that's
Florence
whatever
Pugh.
No,
you're talking about Florence Pugh.
I am.
Whatever that girl's name is who did Wednesday with him.
Wednesday, that looks like the other lady.
I hear he's doing...
She looks like Aubrey something that I can't remember.
Yeah.
Plaza or something.
Yeah, like the new Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah. They have a great hit on an acceptance speech somewhere. It's fantastic.
I hear she's playing Lydia's daughter.
Okay.
And Willem Dafoe just came out talking about how his character is... He's a detective in the underworld who was a B-movie actor in real life.
God damn it. I don't know that I've ever heard something I'm more interested in than those words.
I know, right?
Willem Dafoe playing a former B actor.
Yeah.
Ghost detective.
Yeah. And Michael Keaton's
coming back. Where do I sign up for the whole franchise?
Michael Keaton is coming back as Beetlejuice.
Goddamn, yes.
I mean, yeah.
That can't be fucked up. I don't think it can be fucked up. I could probably give that to like a high school kid with a...
I believe it can be.
Camcorder,
and I believe it will be.
My childhood.
But those performances are going to be great.
They'll be fantastic.
If anything's going to save it, it's going to be them. We've got
like a Lime and a Coconut revival as well.
This does not come from Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a random thing, a report that came out that there are 3 actresses who are in the mix for the role of Kara Zor-El, and they believe that it's being casted now because she's going to show up in Superman Legacy. This does not come from Gunn. This is not a real news item. But the names are the House of Dragon star Millie Alcock, Coda star Emilia Jones, and the Winchester star Meg Donnelly. I don't know any of these people.
Not a clue. Let me see. Do you have it on? Does it show pictures or anything?
We can look it up, but I don't have pictures. I don't think all of them. Emilia Jones looks the most like the Woman of Tomorrow character, since they are adapting that.
True.
But let's pull her up. That is Emilia Jones. She looks like a Bill Quasively drawing.
She does look familiar. But yes, no, she actually would.
She's got the nose. She's got the general...
She would fit in that book.
Yeah, that is actually creepy. She actually does look like the character. Millie Alcock, let's look at her. I don't know any of these people as far as their acting ability goes. I assume Gunn will choose wisely.
Typically has.
I don't see Millie Alcock at all going for that. I don't... As far as her looks are concerned.
You have picked a weird picture because, let me point this out.
There's another one.
Nah, I can see it.
I mean,
the hair's wavy in the right way. But the other one though, like...
Yeah. What was wrong with the other one?
Oh.
It's her like walking down a red carpet here.
It is, but it's just that particular picture, she seems to be like snarking at a photographer that didn't ask.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also seemingly wearing a trash bag. It's a very heavy duty one.
It does. It looks... I don't know what that looks like.
I don't either.
It
looks like if someone misinformed the first companion from the...
It looks like a leather tube.
Tenet era.
Yeah, it does look like something from the Tenet era
of
Doctor Who. Absolutely. It looks like she's about
looks like Rose as well.
Start screaming mofo, ro.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, who else we got? Meg Donnelly.
I think first was my favorite of those, if you just showed me those 3 like headshots.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't want actual pictures of her as Supergirl that people are making.
Stop it, AI.
That girl? That's her.
Zombies.
Yeah, I don't know her.
Well, it has to do with zombies, so I'm a little surprised I don't know.
Yeah. She's this Zombies star. I don't know what Zombies is.
I feel like it's going to be a hard thing to Google. Imagine just Googling Zombies show.
Yeah, well, I can click on Zombies. Zombies 4. Will it happen or has the series finished? Okay.
What series?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think this girl looks like I don't know. She looks like Emma Frost. That's what she looks like.
I mean, actually, that's a much closer casting for. She reminds me though a little bit of like, who was the Supergirl that did like a gimmick role on Supergirl as Brainiac something.
Oh, what? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm completely blanking on this name.
Laura Vandervoort.
There you go.
Yeah.
She reminds me of her a little bit.
Okay.
Like a high, thick cheekbone kind of thing.
That's not a positive thing for me.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I thought Laura Vandervoort was like just not she's not my favorite Supergirl by any stretch.
Yeah, I know.
But
it was the high cheekbones though that reminded me.
All right, let's see. Here we got somebody asking James Gunn. James, just a small doubt. When you said there would be games in the DCU, are they movie tie-in games or actual AAA games? And are you guys started working on it? Is there a specific reason that you guys are making DCU games? He said AAA games, yes, for fun. So Gunn says, yes, that they're making DCU games for fun. I thought that would be obvious. I don't know what AAA games are, though.
I don't know. You want to Google it or you want me to?
I'll let you do that one.
Mm-hmm. I'll do that one.
I'll let you do that one. What are AAA games?
Classification signify high budget, high profile games that are typically produced and distributed by large, well known publishers. Okay, so big ass games.
Big ass games. Okay, cool.
They mean AAA.
AAA games. Okay, cool. This person says, James, I didn't understand something about the Arkham TV series. You had said that the project did not change direction, and so when they came to DC Studios, the project was meant to be in the DCU, right? Responding to the comments, though, you said two contradictory things. In one comment, you said it was one of the first proposals you took, while in another comment, you said it was not announced earlier because it had not been proposed to you yet. I don't understand. Gunn says, I don't understand the confusion. When I made the announcement back in January, it wasn't proposed to us yet. Yet it was one of the first projects pitched to us. Only Mangold's Swamp Thing and a couple others were pitched before that. How do you see that as contradictory? Do you see anything weird about that?
I'd really have to look at that timeline again for sure.
Yeah. He says back when I made the announcement, it wasn't proposed to us yet.
I don't know. I think I'd have to fact check that one.
Yeah. I don't think it matters because it's happening.
It doesn't. Not truly.
But I don't understand what either of them are really talking about.
No, not really. Not for reals.
I wanted to run that by you because I was like, Jason's smarter than I am.
No.
Like, you have a greater grasp conceptually on, like, logical. I mean, it's just a screenshot.
I know. I'm just going to read through the screenshot again and see if it makes sense if I read it better.
Okay.
Arkham TV. Nope. No idea.
Okay. All right. Well,
I also just don't.
Yes.
Does it mean like the Arkham detective show?
No, the
like
Arkham
Gotham?
TV series that Matt Reeves is developing.
Yeah, okay.
It's part of the DCU. We talked about that last week.
Right.
This person's calling into question because James said it didn't change direction, so that means that when it came to DC Studios, the project was meant to be in the DCU. But Gunn had supposedly two contradictory comments. In one comment, he said it was one of the first proposals he took, while in another comment, he said it was not announced earlier because it had not been proposed yet. And Gunn says, when I made the announcement back in January, it wasn't proposed to us yet. I'm not sure that makes sense to me.
I think, I don't know. I think I may have an interpretation at least, but like, I don't know. It sounds like it was always a project. Like you said before, him and Reeves have talked.
Well, Reeves was working on it way before Gunn came in.
Yeah, it sounds like they've always had that conversation, and then the proposal as the TV show proper was post what he was talking about.
That's the only thing I can think.
But post what he was talking about, as we just discussed, he said we're not going to come together. Like I think what he's also getting at is like that proposal for me means very little. Like it's not like somebody brought Matt Reeves' show to him and said, "Is this okay with you?" He already said, that's your own thing. I mean, in his big 10-point plan, he comes out with one of the major points was there will be Elseworlds.
Right. There will be
I'm not in charge of the Elseworlds.
But Matt Reeves' Arkham TV series is proper DCU.
Yeah, and that part's weird. But the proposal part afterward.
I guess they liked it and they bought it. But
maybe.
That's what he said. But anyway.
Maybe they just proposed it to him after they decided they were going to actually put it in.
Yeah.
And said, no, it's making a lot of money and it's going to be in your wheelhouse. Sorry, buddy. But that'll contradict a lot of what he said about how he's going to have like full creative control about the universe. I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it. That timing's weird.
This person says, James Gunn should make Peacemaker the new psychic pirate. I think they meant psycho pirate.
Certain.
The only character to remember the old universe, and he keeps trying to explain this to the characters, and they make fun of him, thinking he's making up this story. That would be phenomenal.
That is an incredible pitch, honestly.
James Gunn says, well, I wouldn't want the universe shift to be that big a part of the story.
It's a fair note.
Yeah.
But also, how much is Peacemaker going to be a part of the whole story?
Yeah.
So overall, that would kind of fit.
Yeah, I would be okay with it, honestly.
I think I think I would maybe argue with James in the room on that one.
Yeah,
like,
I think I'd be like, you can do that, but then also like not really touch on it that much. Just every once in a while he brings up a thing and they're like, what are you talking about?
No, that suggestion's right though, as far as like, he would be a great character that you could take the piss out of all day on that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, shut the fuck up, toilet bowl boy, you know?
Yeah.
And
it would also be fun to actually just have Psycho Pirate there and have him doing it. Have Peacemaker being like, oh, what are you talking about? Are you talking about like the other universe again?
That would be fun if like Psycho Pirate was a like the frail, very mentally handicapped version of himself. Like every fucking schizotypal looking, paranoid, delusional looking mental disorder you can have kind of version where it's just, man, he needs some help. And then there's Peacekeeper, just like trying to help him. Peacemaker, sorry. Trying to help him. But also, shut the fuck up, dude. No one believes us. I saw it too.
Yeah.
And then Eagly hugs him at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course he does.
By the way, did you notice Eagly was in Guardians Volume 3?
No.
Yeah. He jumped ship for a minute. He popped over the Marvel Universe.
Of course he would.
When they release all the animals, like Eagly flies through.
That's exactly where it would be. And God damn that magical eagle. Of course he jumped into another universe.
Yeah. Why not? He's the real psycho pirate. See, this guy says, both James Mangold and Guillermo del Toro expressed interest in Swamp Thing. What made you choose James Mangold for the movie? And James says, well, for starters, James actually expressed his interest to me. Guillermo, who I know and love, did not. I mean, that's pretty straightforward.
One dude wants to do it.
That's all our news.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's all our news.
Well, I'll take it.
Yeah. We should do this weekly more often.
Yeah. Impromptu's fun.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about.
No.
Like, that's actually the case when we prepared, though. So this isn't changing anything, really.
I can usually construct something of a thought process, but none of this news needed it. This was like a fun thing where like... I think we would have been live Googling whatever you brought up if you just read it out. Yeah. I mean, this was like literally a situation where like I was down the street from Jason and he was alone for a minute and we were like, hey, let's hang out. And then I came over and I was like, you want to do a DC on screen? I mean, that's all it was, y'all. So if it didn't meet your expectations, par for course. We just had more fun doing it this time. Yeah. Yeah. Or at the very least, less work doing it. We'll do some more prep next time, maybe. Not always. Yeah. I said maybe. Yeah. But I mean that should wrap it. You think so? I think so. I mean, I don't have much else to say on Aquaman. No. Oh, I did tell you before that like I'm always going to cherish that the proper DCU ends with just Patrick Wilson eating a bug. In what is apparently a non-reputable restaurant. Because there shouldn't just be cockroaches big enough that you can put them on a burger. Well, it was outside. They can't really handle that much. You can. Outside in the middle of the day, cockroach that big, that's a problem. You shouldn't be eating there. Yeah. Well. Shouldn't be eating there. I mean, like if you're talking about like, I don't know, downtown, maybe. No. But. No version of events. I'm saying you've got a point there. But if you're like in like a sea town, like a coastal town, like he's talking about. And Daytime. I don't care. They do. That's like, okay, but if you're in a I've always used that as like a familiarity part where like if cockroaches are so happy that they're coming out in the daytime, you have a problem. But if you're like, let's say like you've got a restaurant You keep it all 100, man. It's clean. You got a great health
You're
score.
actually trying.
You've got a place outside that people sit and eat. Or if it's not even at that restaurant, if it's like communal sitting in that little part of the town, because that happens too. You got a restaurant 3 doors down. Maybe ain't doing so hot.
Okay.
Not really keeping their shit
you just
up.
think something snuck over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can defend that one restaurant and be like, we don't know it was a bad thing they were doing. It might be that other restaurant.
We don't.
Down the way who was doing kind of shitty things.
Yeah. Just weird odds.
Yeah.
And it was kind of big. But also the burger looked pretty good, for being fair.
It looked pretty good.
It did look pretty good.
Until he put the roach in it.
Yeah. No part of me would have ever guessed that was where we were going to land.
Like, Stinger aside, I do kind of, and I hadn't thought about it until earlier this morning when we were talking about it, when you said you'd seen it. I was like, I do kind of enjoy the fact that the DCEU ends where the MCU begins. Like, the last bit of Iron Man is him going, I am Iron Man. The last bit of Aquaman, I am Aquaman. Big press conference to announce his existence.
I mean, I definitely caught the joke on the Marvel nod there.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool. I didn't actually think of it as a bookend, but I like that.
Yeah.
And actually, now that you mention it, there's a cheeseburger.
Just like an Iron Man. Oh, my dear Christ.
Now, it's specifically a Whopper in Iron Man because that was a reference to
there's something
RDJ's substance turned around.
To go along with many of the complaints that people have had about the DCEU and what it's become since Snyder left. It is funny that they would kill it
with a specifically Marvel reference.
Specifically doing Marvel. I mean, even in this movie, and it's one of the things that bugged the shit out of me. You know, someone mentioned on Twitter, I liked Aquaman 2 better when it was Thor: The Dark World. And they even knew it in the movie because Aquaman's like, all right, calm down, Loki.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, God, that's so...
The amount of things that watching and references in watching Aquaman 2, and we could probably make a dozen bookmarks of it, of things that are clearly in other universes that they're watching. Like, they've definitely seen Endgame in this Warner Brothers product. Like, I think there was even an Ash reference. I don't know. But
yeah. By the way, I hate myself because I feel like one of those douchebags who refers to Target as Target. Because every time I hear Endgame in my head, I go, Ingame.
See, that's just weird.
It is weird.
Like, Target is at least funny because
no,
Target...
it's not.
No, in its time, Target pretended to be fancy Walmart. So Target was the joke, and that's cool. But
it still thinks it is, by the way.
It does still think it is. And actually, Walmart redesigned its stores to match Target's. It's been a weird game. But, like... That's not as weird to me as the people that actually say, like, oh, would you please hand me a liqueur?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. And I'm a goddamn piece of shit elitist about a lot of language bullshit. And go fuck yourself in that liqueur thing. Yeah. I'm going to call the line there and drag me in with the rest of those motherfuckers after that. But I got it.
Yeah. I mean, your hero is Nero Wolf. So.
I know. I know some of the stuff that I'm a piece of shit about, and that's one of them. And yes, even I'm wrong there.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned it earlier today to me that you actually had chef on your resume, and like you said it, and it made me laugh because I'm like, this is the guy I've watched microwave the same freaking taco like 3 or 4 times from Taco Bell, and then get sick afterward. I
went to the hospital later.
But you make the best steak I've ever tasted. Like, you are legitimately a good cook. But then I'll see you do shit like that. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I know what it is. It's ADHD because you were talking to me while you were microwaving that over and over again.
I think that was the night we did The Dark Knight Rises.
Maybe. It wasn't.
Was it not?
No. We didn't go to that together.
No, we didn't together. We like regrouped the night after and talked about it for 6 hours or some shit.
Yeah, maybe.
About how much we hated that fucking movie.
Yeah. Maybe. I still feel bad because I bummed you out before you went. I texted you and I was like, don't even bother. You're like, I've waited 4 years. And I'm like, I know. That's why I'm telling you.
That was one of those where, like, if it had been a different flavor movie, I might have actually still been a little annoyed coming out of it.
Yeah.
Because like I trust your opinion on a lot. So like I didn't want to go in and be flavored by like someone's opinion that I trusted and not like the movie. And then I watched the movie and it was like it didn't matter what he did.
Yeah.
He could have dragged me in the parking lot saying, "Please don't do this. Please don't do this." On your knees crying, saying, "Don't do it to yourself too."
Uh-huh.
And I would have still come out with the same opinion of that movie.
Yeah.
Like it just after context was just, he was right.
But we hadn't been friends that long either at that time.
It was a bit, but it wasn't like...
I feel like after 8 years of doing this show with you and being friends with you for much longer than that now, like I feel like I'm pretty good at being like, I didn't like this. Jason will be fine with it. He'll enjoy himself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did with Aquaman.
Exactly what you did with Aquaman. And that was accurate.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It had some good bits. You're going to dig it.
And I did like Topo. I really did.
I was fine with him. Like, there was a little too much something. It wouldn't have been as bad if he just kept making those noises. Like, okay, we got it. Please just like cut out more of this movie. Please. Just editing room. Jesus Christ. Please.
Can you fill up the floor of this editing room?
Give me like an
or
80...
the modern version. Can you fill up the trash file on this computer?
I need an 80-minute version of this movie.
What is the 20-minute soundbite I can watch of Aquaman? We probably could do like an Olaf Presents version of this movie. Have you seen those?
No, I don't know what that is.
They do this this huge series of shorts on Disney Plus that Evelyn watches all the time, where it's like Olaf Presents. And it's basically just Olaf and some of the random casting characters redoing a simplified, ridiculous version of other Disney movies.
Okay.
So it'll be like The Lion King in 60 seconds.
That's kind of fun.
It kind of is. Like, those are, in a way, a lot funnier. That like a lot of the Olaf Presents are just writers taking the piss and having a joke. Like, you can see where this hits.
Yeah, sure.
I think we'd have fun with that probably.
Yeah.
We could probably do it with most of the DCU and have a good time. We'll do that. We'll do that as a bonus sometime.
No, we won't. Don't even promise it. We're not going to do it.
We will. All right, Taylor. We're going to end this episode now. God. We're going to do a bonus episode.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not.
We're doing it?
Nope.
Yep.
A bonus episode of what?
Kicking and screaming.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Let's do it.
No.
Come on. We had nothing when we started this. We'll just open the DC things. We'll do Comics Castaway or something.
I'd actually be down for that. All right, we're going to head out so we can do this thing. Check out your Patreon, patreon.com/DC on screen. Only the $5 patrons get the Creature Commandos episode. Not Creature Commandos. What was it called? Comic Castaways. Too many damn alliterations. I don't know what we're going to do it on.
Secretly excited about Creature Commandos. I am. It does sound like fun.
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Resident Alien, they came out with a season 3 trailer.
I just look like a Frankenstein fucking involved.
Very excited about the Resident Alien season 3 trailer. Yeah. It looks fantastic.
That is such a fun show.
Little gray alien voiced by George Takei. I'm down. I'm there.
He was very threatening.
He was. I think they even had him go, "Oh my."
They did.
I mean, they have to at this point. Anyway, DCOnScreen.com for every episode. Patreon.com/DC on Screen if you want to. You can join for free. And I'm playing around with some ideas about how to make that more interesting for you guys. But you can join for free and become part of the community. $1 a month gets you every episode ad-free, and $5 a month gets you all that, plus whatever other kind of weird shit we come up with. And I guess we're going to do one now. So
of whatever weird shit we come up with.
That's going to happen. So go ahead and pop over there and give us your money.
We'll see you there.
Until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Hey, thanks for listening to DC on Screen. Our theme song is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford of Galactic Engineers. The incidental music is by Michael Shackelford and Kevin MacLeod. You can rate the show on Spotify or rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Doing that really helps push our show to new listeners, so your help would be much appreciated. You can also contact the show at DC on Screen on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email us at dconscreen@gmail.com. To become a patron and get ad-free episodes and exclusive content, go to patreon.com/DCOnScreen. Your reviews and feedback may end up on a future episode of DC On Screen. DC On Screen is a production of Maladjusted.tv in association with Stranded Panda. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever damn platform you use.